Welcome, dear students. I am Dr. Jisha Krishnan EK, MES KVM College, Valancheri. Here I would like to share some video lessons for second semester BSc Zoology students. And the concerned topic that I am going to discuss today is the salient features of phylum Echinodermata. So let's move. The word Echinodermata comes from two Greek words, echino and derma. Echino means spiny and derma means skin. So all the members are popularly known as spiny skin animals. As you can see in these two pictures, these are the external features or external morphology of the concerned organisms which is coming under this particular phylum. And this is the largest phylum that has no freshwater or terrestrial representatives, which means all the members belong to this particular family or particular phylum is found only in marine or seawater habitat. As they are marine organisms, where they are found? They are generally located or frequently observed in benthic habitat or at the oceanic bed of seawater. And these are the common examples of this particular phylum. You may be familiar with all these things: starfish, brittle star, sea cucumber, sea lilies, etc. All these members are together found in this particular phylum. And if you are tracing back to the ancestry, you can see that their ancestors were known to be existed in the Cambrian period. Cambrian period means about 55.6 million years ago, their ancestors were evolved. And if you are considering to the body, their body is unsegmented without having a particular head. For example, you can see in this starfish, they do not have a particular head-like structure, right? And their body surface is fully covered with a calcareous spicule. So their body is generally having a rough or a spicule or a spiny appearance. And if you are considering to their body wall is triploblastic. What does it mean by triploblasty? You may be familiar with what is the difference between diploblasty and triploblasty. Diploblasty is the condition in which the germ layers consist of two different layers, an outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. While in the case of triploblasty, their germ layers consist of three layers, an outer ectoderm, a middle mesoderm, and an inner endoderm. So this triploblasty is a condition which is usually seen in higher chordate. So this higher chordate character that you can see or observed in this phylum Echinodermata. And apart from that, if you are considering to their body plan is organ system level, or they have an organ system level of organization. We know that from the primitive to the more advanced hierarchy, the organisms are classified into four different types in accordance with their body plan. What are they? They are cellular, tissue, organ, or organ system level. Cellular means the cells are performing the whole functions of the body. While in the case of tissue level of organization, the cell aggregate together form tissue and these tissues are performing all the functions. While in the case of organ level of organization, the different organs are performing the concerned functions of the body. While in the case of organ system, all the organs united together and forms a particular system, and this system together performs all the functions of the body. So organ system is the most advanced character which is usually seen in higher organisms. So as this phylum Echinodermata is also an invertebrate organism, you can see that these kinds of chordate characters are commonly observed in this particular phylum. Then comes their body symmetry. As far as the body symmetry is concerned, Both adults as well as larvae is having two different kinds of symmetry. Adults are having a radial symmetry, while the larvae is having bilateral symmetry. I hope you all understood what is meant by radial and bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is the condition which if you are cutting a plane to the exact anterior posterior direction, you will get two equal halves. And in the case of radial symmetry, if you are cutting a plane through any radius, you will get equal halves. So that's all about the body symmetry. And they are called true coelomate. True coelomate is also another chordate, advanced chordate character, a true coelom or a body cavity that you can see in between the body wall as well as the alimentary canal. So this is another highly advanced chordate character. And they are called deuterostomes. And this is the condition of deuterostomy. Deuterostomy is a condition in which the blastopore is the small opening which is formed during the embryonic stage of an organism. And this, whenever this blastopore becomes anus, that particular organisms are commonly known as deuterostome. What is opposite condition? Protostome. That means if the blastopore become a mouth instead of anus, that type of organisms are called protostomes. So the protostome is a character which is usually seen in lower chordates or lower organisms, while deuterostomy is the condition which is usually seen in higher chordate or highly advanced type of organism. So here in this phylum Echinodermata, you can see that this particular phylum exhibit deuterostomy. Okay, the next feature, locomotion. Locomotion is done by a specialized structures which is called two feet. As you can see in this picture, there are small extensions are found at the bottom of this C-star. This is called a two feet. So this is a peculiar feature found only in this particular phylum. And this two feet is generally used for the locomotion. Okay. Then comes the respiration. I have already told you that the respiration, this particular phyla is exclusively marine, or they are spending their whole life in the water itself. So they are respiring by means of gills as well as two feet. And here their respiratory structures are modified into four different structures. They are dermal branchiae, peristomial gills, genital bursa, and respiratory tree. Then comes the digestive system. As far as the digestive system is concerned, you know that digestive system is mainly consists of alimentary canal and their associated glands. And this alimentary canal is straight or coiled, in which the mouth and anus are seen on the two opposite sides. Okay, if you are considering to the starfish, here you can see that the anus is located at the dorsal side while the mouth is located just below, that is on the ventral side. So these two structures are generally found on the dorsal as well as ventral surface respectively. And comes the nerve system. The nerve system is very primitive. A particular brain is altogether absent, but here the nerve system is represented by only two nerve rings. They are called a nerve ring and a radial nerve. And they are seen in oral as well as aboral end. Oral is the area where the mouth is located. So in the oral surface or in the region of mouth, you can see the nerve ring. And in the anus is located, or the dorsal side, you can see the nerve cord. And the skeletal system. The skeletal system consists of calcareous spicules or spines, and these are the different types of calcareous spicules that you can see in the phylum Echinoderms. Then comes the circulatory system. They have a open circulatory system. A true heart and its associated blood vessels are altogether absent, and also the blood is colorless, and hence there is no respiratory pigment. The circulation is mainly occurs by means of a particular system that we will discuss later, that is called a hemal or water vascular system. That means the respiratory exchange of gases will take place through the inflow and outflow of water current that is enters and leaves from the body. Then the excretory system is altogether absent, but the waste products are formed inside the body and it is ammonia in nature. We know that most of the organism which is dwelling in the water is having an excretory product or nitrogenous waste products in the form of ammonia. And ammonia is highly toxic in nature, so for expelling out this ammonia requires copious amount of water or it requires higher amount of water. So the waste products are ammonia and they are expelled through water vascular system. It is a unique system which is found in this particular phylum, and a excretory organ is altogether absent. Regeneration. Regeneration, we know that it is a power to regenerate the lost part of our body, and this condition is called autotomy. Then the water vascular system or human system, I have already told you that in the case of digestive system, respiratory system, as well as the circulatory and respiratory system is concerned, all these functions are generally carried out by a particular system, a unique system that is called water vascular system or human system, right? And comes a reproductive system. As far as the reproductive system is concerned, their sexes are separate, which means both male and female individuals can be separately seen, and their fertilization occurs by means of external or in the seawater, and the development is indirect. Indirect means it involves many larval stages. A lot of larval or intermediate larval stages are found during the development of this particular organism, and about 6 different types of larval stages are generally seen in different organisms which is coming under this particular phylum Echinodermata, and they are Bipinnaria larvae, Doliolaria larvae, Ophiopluteus larvae, Brachyolaria larvae, Auricularia larvae, and Echinopluteus larvae. So that's all about the salient features of phylum Echinodermata. Thank you.